alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
We are very, very happy to welcome you back to our weekly show, the Wellness Show with Angela and Safiya. So, Angela, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm feeling quite energized from my walk before I came here.
Excellent. I like to hear that, and it's nice and crisp as well. So, weather is making us a little bit more sort of
energized. The sun
does
that to you, you know.
That's true, actually. Yes, when we see a little bit of fresh and crisp blue weather. So today we are going to talk to you about what to do when you want to start a new exercise. So we talked a lot about how, in general terms, about nutrition, about how to get healthier, and the sort of little things, little changes you can do in your life.
I really need that advice.
Yeah.
To hear it again.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
You're an athlete, but
I
I'm
love
not.
it when you call me an athlete.
But you are. You're an athlete. I'm one, and I want to be athlete.
Yeah, that's that.
It needs to go with my nutrition label. I need to be more athletic.
Seriously, if anyone listening, if 10 years ago, when was it? October 2011, when I started, let's say a little bit before I started doing Taekwondo, if I knew if you told me 10 years later, you're a second dan black belt in Taekwondo and you're called your best friend calls you an athlete. Wow, that is so cool.
You have to say that to yourself. I'm an athlete.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah Rabbana Kareem. I have to say this is a blessing. Anybody can be an athlete. It just means you're moving around and you're just like really active. So what we'd like to talk to you is we talked about New Year's resolutions. We talked about, so everybody's kind of decided, that's it, now it's January, my body makes me want to move more, to do things. Maybe I overate over I had 2 weeks break. I feel it, I had 2 weeks break. Breaks are overrated, we love them, but then when we resume any form of activity, oh my goodness, I'm aching all over just doing a few press-ups, and I feel like I've never done them in my life.
Even though I'm not an athlete, I still know that's good for you, because you're giving your muscles a rest, and now you're making them work again, right?
Yeah,
which is good.
Right. You're right.
So you're going to talk about starting to exercise, something small, right? What would you say at my age would it be a good something to start, or what recommendation would you have somebody who's never been an athlete, has tried on and off to exercise, but always gives up for some reason or another, because it's not in my blood, you know. Yeah. But I want it to be in my blood. So what should I do?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'd like to say that generally speaking, you have to, the researchers suggest that many adults spend more than 7 hours a day sitting down at work, on transport, or in their leisure time. So people aged 65 and over spend 10 hours or more each day sitting down or lying down. So that makes them the most sedentary age groups. That's a lot, 10 hours. Imagine that's basically, sleeping plus extra. So it's a silent killer. So evidence is emerging that sedentary behavior, such as sitting or lying down for long periods, is really bad for your health. And I think everybody is more or less aware of that. So it's really important, if you could, Angela, and everyone listening, to raise your activity levels and reduce the amount of time you spend sitting down. So it doesn't mean that you always have to be on the move. Your body, as you said, is very true. Your body needs rest periods, but don't end up making these rest periods being the main activity you do.
Your hobby, basically.
So now let's imagine, you've decided to take on a new physical activity. So for instance, badminton, light jogging, or say even a step class, right?
Okay.
So what are the different stages physically and physiologically that happens to your body? So as soon as you start exercising, your body will respond by stimulating and inhibiting physiological processes that will allow you to exercise more efficiently. So we know all, as soon as you start moving around, your cardiorespiratory system increases. It basically means your heart rate.
I noticed something about that. When my husband is he's feeling kind of sleepy or something, he'll say, okay, I'm going to do some push-ups, I'm going to do it. And then as soon as he does it like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
he feels waking up.
Well, why?
He's just wide awake.
Because
So
as soon as he does
true.
that, his heart will have to pump a little bit extra. He'll have to breathe deeply. So the circulation through the body will be made better. There'll be fresher oxygen to all the organs. So automatically things just work a little bit better. So yeah, you don't need to do much.
But this blocking pain signals, I can attest to that, because when I'm walking, I'm feeling great, but then when I sit for a bit and get up, my feet are hurting. So while I'm walking, it's not hurting.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know that.
So yeah, exactly. When you start doing some physical activity, your body automatically block those pain signals. So just to allow you to push yourself a little bit better. You know, this old thing. I never really used to like it when it says no pain, no gain. And it's because I did not understand it. I understood that this mean it doesn't matter if you injure yourself, doesn't matter if you wreck yourself, you will not make any gain unless you do. And actually, no. There's I've been listening to a fantastic book called Endurance. I love audiobooks, and
what's the author?
Oh God, don't ask me.
It's not Maffetone, right?
No, Maffetone does something else. He's also an interesting person to find out about. But basically, the idea is that when you push yourself beyond your normal level of activity and your muscles start aching and like, oh, that's really sore, that's really tiring, and you feel the burn, right?
Yeah.
Then your body actually produces more of everything that it needs to do to grow those muscles, to make your system more efficient. So that's what it means, no pain, no gain. It's not pain as in injury, but pain as in your muscle feel like they're being pushed.
Of course, but that's where a lot of people give up though,
yeah.
Right? If you didn't know that when you're doing exercise,
yeah.
You can expect 3 days after that some pain. A lot of people who I've talked to in my family, I've been hurting. I go, yeah, but it's normal. It's okay. Just push through it. You'll be fine. It's not like an injury.
No, exactly. That's right? A very big difference.
So we need to talk lots about that.
Yeah. So what's happening? So yeah, your cardiorespiratory. I mean, your heart rate goes up, your breathing goes up, it increases, etc. And at the same time, your digestive system slows right down. This is why it's not really good to eat a big meal just before you train. A lot of people will know if you do that and you push yourself, you end up in the toilet, getting rid of that excess food because the body can't do it to you at the same time.
So, but I've also been suggested, or is it a myth that after you eat dinner you should go for a walk?
Yeah, walking is a gentle exercise, so it gets everything moving, it gets the muscles of your digestive system moving as you walk, but that's not strenuous.
Okay. So,
the first 10 minutes of your exercise, your heart rate increase. As I said, there's an increased blood supply to the brain as well, making you more alert and, as we said, blocking the pain signals. After 1 hour of exercise, your body does not like to waste energy, so it's always trying to work as efficiently as possible and will return to a state of balance. So cardio and weight training are different, so the body will respond differently. For example, the body's preferred energy system for that activity and prioritizing blood supply to the muscles that are most active. So there will be different things happening after an hour to rebalance, make the muscles have been worked a lot to get more extra blood supply to repair, to grow, etc. Other muscles, again, so don't go and have a big meal straight after. Let your body rest and recover a little bit. So afterwards, when you've done your hour of exercise, 1 hour after, everything that was elevated during exercise will now slow down. And everything that was slow during exercise will speed up. So your digestive system, after an hour, will kind of go back to doing what it does. And the body will try and return to its resting state as quickly as possible. And the fitter you are, the better your body is at doing this. And 1 day after, when you exercise, your muscles experiencing microtraumas can result in what is called delayed onset muscle soreness or DOMS.
Well,
that's what you were mentioning.
That's what I was mentioning. So yeah.
I have loads of stories, and in actual fact, we can now reveal we have 2 surprise guests in our studio. And after we've done a little sort of explanation of all this technical stuff, We'll be talking to them and their experience of DOMS. Everybody's got a story of DOMS. And in actual fact, I have a story right now. So I was talking about my 2 weeks break. So I did nothing. I thought, oh yeah, during the 2 weeks, I'll probably do a little bit of maintenance, a bit of stretching, but yeah, right, sorry, I hope my instructor is not listening to me because he'll be like, I told you, Safiya. But we started training straight after. Every day in Taekwondo and taught Pilates. So every day I was doing something. We did, push-ups, we did planking, we did a lot of kicking. And my goodness, and Sunday, lo and behold, we did 3 minutes of star jumps. So for 2 days, my calves were in agony.
So I would love to be able to do star jumps. It's one of my
You will. I'll get you there, Angela.
Please,
so
get me there.
We go through this, and all you have to remember is it'll last for 3 days. You'll have a first day, it's very sore. A second day, it's even sorer. I don't know why. But it is a lot more sore the second day. The third day, it goes back to the level of the first day, and the fourth day, generally speaking, it's completely gone or virtually gone. 5 days max. If it's beyond that, if you're still in sharp pain when you do a movement with that, then it's an injury. You've pushed yourself too much. Unfortunately, you often do that only afterwards, that you pushed yourself too much and you got yourself an injury. But in the process, you learn about your body. So always take it as beneficial. Whatever pain you have, it's a message to you. Either you've got a problem in that area, try and fix it for long term, or you've pushed yourself, you've got stronger muscles, bigger muscles. That'd be great. Afterwards, one day after, no, it's not finished. Yeah, one day after, when you exercise, your muscles experiences. Oh no, I've said that. Sorry. 3 days later, that's 3 days later, exercising can result in a prolonged increase in your metabolic rate for up to 72 hours post-exercise. And now a lot of people are aware of HIIT programs, which high intensity interval training, where you push yourself for 30 seconds, you have a break for 30 seconds. But
an example of that, could you do it in walking? Could you do it in biking?
Yes. Yes. So, for instance, you're on your exercise bike at home.
Yeah.
And you start warming up. Always warm up. 5-10 minutes. Do a gentle, just to raise everything. As we described earlier, you have to have a 10 minutes raise your heartbeat, etc. And then you would do a bit, push yourself a little bit more, and then there will be, say, 30 seconds where you push yourself, you pedal as fast as you can, as if your life depended on it.
10 seconds.
Yeah, no, 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Just double checking.
Start at 15 seconds.
That's fine.
Start at whatever you can, but you push yourself so hard that you could not even probably struggle to even speak. You're really, this is like the level you're like, and that's it. And then 30 seconds where you just go very gentle and you slow down everything. And again, and you do that about 3 times, 6 times, that sort of, interval training, and then you have a rest for 3 days. And for 72 hours, your body still continues to benefit from that exercise, and it takes you 3 minutes to do. It's amazing stuff. You can do that.
I'm going to say this on Motley Radio. I'm going to take the challenge this week, and I will do it on my bike.
Yes.
Okay?
Great. High five.
So
there you
that's
go.
it. You heard me, right, everyone?
Yes.
Ask me next week. How did it feel?
So Angela, she made a commitment today to do that. So you can do that when you're walking. If you really only can walk, then you do that. Just walk faster, like a power walk, and then slow down. You can do that when you're jogging. You can do that with press up in your house. You can just do, if you can do jumps, you just jump, crunch, anything that pushes your heart rate and that's a bit hard to do, you can do that. So that's all really benefit. Now, a few weeks after commencing the exercise program, you will start to see measurable improvements in your strength and fitness and mentally. So your mitochondria, which is the mini power plants that produce energy in your cells, they will multiply, meaning that your body can produce more energy, which means that you're going to start feeling like you can push yourself longer. So it's not going to be 15 seconds each time, maybe 30 seconds, So you really see fairly quickly some improvement. You could see, and after a few weeks, then you start seeing more definition in your muscles. You feel more toned. It's just amazing, and you don't need to do anything crazy. You just have to take it at your own level. So also in general, you exercise has been shown to improve your productivity, reduce sick days, reduce out-of-pocket health system expenses for those already living with chronic conditions, type 2 diabetes, self-confidence, reduction in symptoms of depression. So really, there is no reason whatsoever for you to not start on even a tiny little exercise.
Walking, I'd say walking is a good thing to start. If you can't go out, do it at home first. Then if you have stairs, do that a couple of times. And then you'll notice your muscles increase and you're feeling better, but you should start going out, because when you're wearing shoes, that's when you know if it's working, because I remember one of the times that because of this COVID, I hadn't gone out for a while. And the first day out, I'm wearing my shoes that I wore before, and I got blisters. And it was like the worst thing. Like I thought, oh no, even though I haven't walked just for a short time, like it was a couple of months. Well, it's not really short, but because of COVID, we were very careful. It was hurting. And I was really, really upset. And I thought, okay, this is it.
Exactly. If you've not done it for a long time, don't go on a hike for 3 hours. Start with a 10-minute walk from the park.
Start small, and it will help you. You won't feel overwhelmed. And if you start small, you won't have resistance from your mind, so you'll be able to build the habits, small habits. So you can just say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna just do a 10-minute walk, put your shoes on, go outside. Chances are that you're going to love it so much, you're gonna just do it a bit more, and then you try to do it every day or every other day while your muscles are getting back their strength, and next thing you know, you can do daily. The other thing is, even if you do the biking, you do the same thing. Just start 10 minutes. Push-ups are good. I know someone who does hundreds of push-ups. He puts a lot of people to shame. He's 71. I don't want to name any names, but he does it. I can't even do 10. But I remember he started his program with a printout that said, okay, first day only 1, and I thought, yeah, okay, and then the next day he did 3, and now he's doing 300 push-ups. He splits them up, but he does them, and he's not an athlete, he does it, mashallah. So Safiya, what else are we gonna talk about now? Some
I think it's time to.
Should we take a break first and then talk about our guests, or should we introduce our guests first?
We're going to introduce our guest first. Go ahead.
Hi, Fadima.
Hello, how y'all doing?
And can you remind me your name? Sorry.
Yeah, Khalid. No
Khalid.
worries. Yeah.
And Fadima is coming to us from Australia. She's a Taekwondo black belt, and her husband is a footballer.
Yes, no belts, but yeah, just a footballer, right?
So tell us a bit about yourselves.
A little bit about myself. So I was born in Somalia, raised in Australia, currently living in the UK. I've been doing Taekwondo for the past 15 years, a 4th dan black belt.
MashaAllah.
I'm also a boxing instructor as well as a social worker.
Wow,
So-
you're so talented, mashallah.
So currently got my online Muslim female classes that's happening online, inshallah.
Oh,
So that's
have you
next
started?
thing. So it's gonna. So we've started it. So for like this week and next week, so all free classes. So whoever wants to join, you can definitely do that. Just by going to
Wow. Tell us. Tell us
how
your-
to get involved.
Yeah, I'd
absolutely.
love to do something
So
online.
last night was our first night, like in the UK, 7 o'clock. So it's Tuesday. It's every Tuesday and Thursday for the next 2 weeks. It's from 7 a.m. class. There's 7 a.m. classes and 7 p.m. classes. So 2 time slots per day, right, for these 2 days. If you want to get involved, all you have to do is just go to the Ultimate Female Fitness private Facebook group. Just join that private face group.
Ultimate
And then
Fitness.
Ultimate Female Fitness.
Ultimate Female
Yeah,
Fitness.
it's a Facebook private group. So you just join that group, and then we accept you, and then you have access to the Zoom link, and then that's it. Like,
Wow, that sounds exciting.
that's all it is. You
That
just
one
have-
thing about COVID has brought a lot of people to think outside the box and bring these classes to online for people who would not normally have access to them.
Absolutely, and it's one of these things. We live in a time where a lot of people's busy. Do you know what I mean? So they don't have time to go to commute to gyms. They don't have like the energy to do so, or they don't have like the confidence to go to a gym and train. So this is in the comfort of your home, like, and it's like.
Do you need any equipment?
Absolutely not. So the majority of the classes are like no equipment, and if it is, I will let you know in prior to that, and I'll be like, literally, you can just grab like books, put it in the backpack, and that's your way. Like, there's no excuses.
Safiya does the classes, Pilates class online too, so...
Yeah. It's all about mind over matter. It's all about what you got. It's like, you know, as you guys mentioned before, it's just kind of like taking it step by step.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell us, Khalid.
Hey, assalamu alaikum everyone. So my name is Khalid Osman, or Khalid Osman, and I am Yemeni English Somali, born in Abu Dhabi, lived in England for 8 years, lived in Somaliland for 2 years, then Abu Dhabi, now back in the UK, Manchester.
Tell us about your
So I'm a footballer. So football actually was a football career when I was 15. Alhamdulillah, was pretty decent, got injured, changed into coaching. Coaching went into sports in college, uni, studied that. Then went into coaching. I was coaching in Abu Dhabi, helped out with sporting, volunteered different events, the Olympics, volunteered Paralympics, and London 2012.
That's amazing.
So yeah, it was all sports until recently, you can say 3 years ago, moved more to a content creator when I moved to Somaliland. I love videography and making content, and now alhamdulillah just helping my wife build the online fitness business.
That's amazing.
Helping her with the marketing, because I've been doing YouTube, Instagram and social media, basically marketing for 4 years now. So alhamdulillah, that's where we are now, and ultimate female.
Mashallah. Safiya, you have any questions?
I'm just in awe, and I'm just so excited. Before we started the show, Fadima and I, hi Khalid as well, we just went on chatting, and we just didn't stop, did we? And we were like, oh my god, we need to start this show. Because I was just so excited when you meet someone who's, you know, into the same things as you are. It's like a passion. You're just like, that's it.
It's a click.
It clicks, and also found out she lives nearby. They live nearby, so soon we'll be meeting each other again. So no, I'm really good. So how long have you been here?
So been here since June.
Oh right.
She has, yeah. I've been here for nearly a year and a half.
Right.
Yeah.
So still fairly recent. So what do you think about Manchester then?
I love Manchester.
Because you're in Salford, aren't you? Let's not forget Salford, my city.
I love it. But you know what, surprisingly, like, I've lived here for 2 years, from 2017 to 2019, just before COVID hit.
You mean the UK?
In the UK, in Manchester. I just came here just to do a bit of like traveling, and after graduation, I got like wanting to do, I was getting ready for the World Championship for Taekwondo, and then had a major injury. That kind of disappointed me, so I'm like, I'm going to pack my bag and just travel around the globe for 2 years, which I've done, alhamdulillah, so can't complain.
This is what I like, you know, we like this, don't we? Like, you had a setback, but instead of like retreating and whining about it and moping and just stopping in your track, you actually, okay, that door closed, let's open another one, or another 10 ones, you know.
For sure. Like, I was like, it's just it's how you deal with it, you know, like in situations life like that. And then packed my bag, came here, ended up doing 2 years of training at Pure Gym, like to do personal training, and then you know, within a year of that, like, end up getting the regional PT of the PT of region. The regional PT?
Regional PT.
Award. So,
mashallah.
Yeah, so alhamdulillah, see?
That's brilliant.
When Allah closes one door, and then just, you know, it's just how you look at it, just opens up more doors for you.
Yeah. So, Khalid has let the cat out of the bag earlier. He said that actually you were an Australian champion.
Australian national champion.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so,
tell us about the journey. We're interested in journey that takes you where people are, basically. So how, you know, we don't want to reveal your age, but you're much younger than us. So when did you start Taekwondo? How did you reach that point where you realized you could do something more than just train and like a couple of times a week? How did that happen? Tell us.
So I started with, I think you had got similar story where I think you were I was taking my siblings to Taekwondo. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, like my mom was like, oh, you're the older one. Go take them to, like, you know, I was like 13 at that time. She's like, just go take them, make sure, like, you know, the bus, like, you know, like,
Yeah.
take them with you. And then I was literally just sit there for like a whole hour, wash them and things like that. And then my coach was like, seriously, like, you come here like 2-3 times a week and you literally sit there for a whole hour. He's like, just come and join. And I'm like, at that point I was doing basketball because of my height, and I was like, what is it, seriously, like, what is this sport? And I'm like, it just looks so ridiculous. I was like, you're just doing everyday kicking, and I'm like, nothing's changing, nothing's exciting, until I stepped on the mat.
Yeah.
I was like taken by it, and I've never looked back. And from that on, I remember, like, I think it was like 4 months into training, got my yellow belt, and my coach was like, you're ready to take a whole class? He goes, I see that you got that confident of that people's person, like, you know, you're kind of like that people's person, and you're pushing people. And he's like, I love the energy. And from that on, and I was like, okay, I'm like, if it's something that I can do that I love, and I know I'm helping other people, and I'm like, there's nothing's gonna stop, like, right? So, and obviously in that time it was a bit more of like, to be Muslim, to be hijabi, to be in that kind of sport was like, are you allowed to be out? Like, I've got these questions.
Yeah, in Australia.
You're like,
How to say that? Sorry. In Australia. They don't have the best reputation
So
about
that would have
this.
been what? How many years ago was that?
so that's probably like 16 years ago.
Right. Okay.
Mashallah.
So
Yeah.
still not
16
that.
years ago.
So
Yeah,
not that-
hijabi. Wow, in Australia, doing taekwondo.
Yeah.
And did you go to competitions?
I went to competitions. I represented Australia, a few nationals, like numerous gold, silver, bronze medals of
Mashallah,
my
that's
state.
so amazing.
Alhamdulillah, yeah.
We're proud of you.
Thank you.
And as we know, competitions are not necessarily the be end of it all. You know, it's martial art. Like Taekwondo is a whole thing. A lot of people know Taekwondo through the Olympics, obviously, but it includes so many other things and a lot of drills, repetitive drills of basics and stuff.
100%.
But having said that, when you get a gold and you fought someone and you don't have to kill them, but you scored a lot of points and you won, and it was hard, and you're like, yeah, that really
amazing.
feels good.
It feels
really
good,
feels
you know.
good.
It's just towards the journey, the process,
Yeah.
the weight cutting. Like, anybody who's in the martial art industry, they would know that there's a lot of weight cutting. Like, you have to be at a certain weight category and maintain it, and like from that, and then to training, and to kind of like, the biggest thing is creating that discipline to continue from point A to point B before you end up in that podium, because it is a lot of discipline, there's a lot of hard work, there's a lot of tears and crying and frustration towards it. But as you said, like, but once you're on that podium, you're like, that breathe.
Yeah.
Swear.
And as I said to all of our students in our club, I said, look, you know, you didn't get a medal, you got a bronze or you got silver, it's fine. This is part of the learning, okay? We often say, you win, but you lose, you learn. You learn a lot more when you lose.
Absolutely.
And you learn about yourself.
Absolutely.
And it hurts. It hurts, you know? You're like,
Let's not
I was
sugarcoat it.
that close to a gold and I just got a silver.
Yeah.
And you're like, come on, you got a silver. There were 5 people before you, or whatever. Yeah, but no, it's the gold. I'm going for the gold, that's all.
Yeah.
But it's because, ultimately, when you then take your grading, all that work, whether you won or you lose, that goal, that work is going to be so beneficial when you take your grading and when you're out in the streets. Your confidence, your fitness, you're just generally speaking, it's that it goes beyond, you know, what the result on the mat.
Absolutely.
So you think have your siblings continued to do it, or have they stopped?
No, they've all stopped, but I'm the one that continued.
So what do you think made it like more in terms of sort of psychology and everything? What do you think made it different between you and them? I don't want to go into personal things, but you know, like psychologically, what makes the difference between someone like you who becomes a national athlete and champion compared to someone who then either stays, you know, just does it once or twice a week, and maybe Khalid as well can share his experience in the football arena?
It comes down to how much, like, it's like your intention. Why are you doing it for? Do you know what I mean? So a lot of people, like, if you do it, you're like, okay, I just want to do it for the physical part of it, just the fitness of it, just to get, get the sweat out of it and back. Other people, they're like, for self-defense reasons, just to make sure, like, if I finish work, I have that, like, confident walking on the street, just knowing that I've got that slight background in that self-defense. Some people, they're like, I want to make a career out of this. A lot of people is like, like, I just want to challenge. That was one of my things. I just wanted to challenge myself and see how much I can push my body physically, mentally, emotionally, like, in this journey, and I'm like, see what I can achieve. So it's, with me, like, I've always been a competitor with anything I did in life. Like, I'm like, if someone else can do it, so can I, kind of. I have that mentality, and it's like, I don't take no for an answer. I'm like, if there's something that I know that I'm able to do and I can do it, I'm able, like, I will do it. Do you know what I mean? So it's not about, so they were more of like, I just want to do it for the physical part of it. My brother, my brother more of like, he did the competition with me, but he wanted to do more of like the football, so like it starts to lose interest. Do you know, like,
so went to a different sport.
For sport, yeah.
Different.
And with a lot of people, like, it's because the parents pushes it. It's the parents. It's not the kids in the heart. Like, they don't want to do that sport. So with Taekwondo, you have to love it. Like, you hate it. Like, so alhamdulillah, just grow to love it and just continue.
I think it's a two-way thing. It's you go towards your passion, and your passion comes towards you, and you meet, and that's what makes you go upwards.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
yes.
For me, I lost my competitive sports for a while back once I got injured when I was 15. But for me, it was the love of the sports. It wasn't less for fitness, just love of the sports. Now it's more fitness because my fitness is really bad. But I think I see it because my nephew currently, like, he went for trials for United and things like that. So it's seeing how it's also people who actually are naturally talented. He's just talented. He's like really good at football. He just doesn't enjoy it though too much. But because he wants to try other sports, like Fadima's brother wanted to. So I think the thing that keeps people going is the passion, and the love for the sports. Even if you're not talented, the heart, your heart, the niyyah, the intention and things like that is more stronger than your talent, because you can find a way to kick a ball harder, but you can't find a way to play the football with your heart. I'm talking about football, but any sports really. So it's the intention. It's also always just starts from the mind. And that's where everything starts. And we're talking about starting. So starting exercise comes from starting with the mind, knowing you want to exercise, knowing you want to get up from the chair that you used to sit a lot on, maybe, or desk or anywhere. it's the start. So start with your brain, get that fixed, and then
that's so mindset. That's
mindset.
What we talk about. Mindset.
Angela's.
That's my new
like
thing.
That.
That's before exercising.
If your mindset isn't right, you can't do anything.
Yeah. And what you were talking about, talent and not really enjoying the thing. Sometimes you can see it. It's like, it's so frustrating. You're so good at it. And it's just like, I just come and I just like do a bit here.
There's a lot of people who have the talent, but their mindset is all wrong, and that they'll never get anywhere because they're not using their mindset to do something with the talent. Because I believe everybody has a talent. You don't necessarily know it, but it's something you're always thinking about. But if you don't actually put your mind right to do it, it's not going to happen. No matter how much talent you have, everybody has talent.
Yeah, and I think
everybody has talent. I mean it 100%. Everybody has a talent. You have to figure it out.
In basketball, there's this French player called Tony Parker, and I love his story because he's actually not that tall, compared to the rest of the basketball players. But he plays for, I think, Atlanta, one of the top teams, and he was picked because he was slightly shorter. He had to devise tricks to be able to counteract his opponents who were a lot taller than him, and he invented new shots that never existed before. And so it just goes on to show you really, if you might not look like you could be. There's another woman, she's a rower as well. I did not know, but in rowing you have to have a certain height as well, because everybody has to be the same, but the length of the arm, the legs, etc., everything is calculated, and it's also apparently sort of more optimal for rowing if you're a bit taller and stuff. And there was this I think she won the Olympic gold in the pair some in London or the one after. And she said again, she wasn't the right height, and she pushed and pushed, and she challenged, and she refused to be told no. So that was again a passion meeting, a passion and a person meeting each other. There were a lot of obstacles, but she refused to be limited by her physical apparent limitations.
Well, that shows that even if you don't have a talent in something, if your mindset is right, then you can achieve things, even people with a talent.
Yeah, and I think
that's
again,
true. It's all your mindset.
Yeah, she adapted her rowing speed and strokes and to be able to match her partner, but in ways that no one would have been able to tell her, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
She had to invent it.
Of course.
Because nothing was done for her. So yeah, it's quite amazing. So it was lovely talking to you. We're going to try and get we're going to have a little break now, and we'll continue on our conversation very, very soon. This week's edition of the Wellness Show with Angela and Safiya. Please note that whatever we say is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure. If you are in doubt, do consult a healthcare practitioner before applying any change to your lifestyle.
Heritage Radio, the beacon of hope.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are back for the last few minutes of our show. We had such a fantastic discussion with that couple. What a great addition to the community. I always love hearing people coming to Manchester, our beloved city, and bringing their expertise, especially their energy. You just feel like, yes, so much can happen, so much good, and hopefully, inshallah, because their offer will be online, and we will let you know about the development of their project. And you can obviously email the radio station if you want to find out more about them. Email info@heritageradio.co.uk to find out more about Khalid and Fadima's offer. And we probably will hear more from them in the very, very near future, inshallah. But how fantastic. Everything's online that they do, so that's benefiting anyone in the country and beyond. So there was something I would like, Angela, if you could mention that is going to happen in the next month.
Yeah, there's a cycle leader, ride leader training events coming up, and there's 4 dates. It's on January the 30th, on the 12th of February, the 26th of February, and provisionally the 12th of March. Now, do you want me to, Safiya, do you think I should mention the times? And where do we, so
if you want to find out more, you email the radio station at info@heritageradio.co.uk to be able to find out where and how to register.
Yeah, the course will cover the role of the ride leader, the benefits and barriers of cycling, the national standard for cycle training, health and safety, including risk assessments and bike checking, group management, the leader positioning and snaking, for example, planning a ride, a practical demonstration of ride learning from participants. And just so everyone knows, you need to know how to ride a bike to attend these events.
Yes.
Anything else you think I missed?
No, I think, and it's really open to anyone, any age, probably the age above the age of 18, male, female, everybody's. I think it's a great initiative
for young people, but anyone who wants to do this.
At some point, we'll have someone from Transport for Greater Manchester coming over to the show and explain more about cycling in Greater Manchester. I don't know if you. I don't know. I'm sure most of you have noticed that they've invested a lot of money in improving the main roads for cyclists. There's a lot of main thoroughfares where they have separators to make sure that cyclists are safer. So
it's really good to know.
It's a lot of work to encourage people to cycle. I wish I could, but where I live and also the lifestyle I live, I find that obviously having a car and it is a little bit easier. But there may be a stage, I'm hoping, in my life where I can cycle. But I know my children, who are all like sort of teenagers and young adults, they really love cycling. There's just an enjoyment out of it, isn't there? So if you can go and help, go and get trained to lead cycling groups, I think that's such a fantastic way of connecting with the community, doing something good for everyone else, and also gaining a skill, isn't it, that you can put on your CV, especially for the youth,
people.
you know, the teen, young adults. They always look for things to add to their CV to show that they are working at improving themselves and putting themselves out there, and employers are always sensitive to that, aren't they? So that was one thing. So we were talking with our guest
Fadima and Khalid.
Yeah, about Fatima. With Fatima and Khalid, we're talking. We touched a little bit on mindset, didn't we? And it's funny how we talk about physical exercise, and we always go back to the brain, don't we? And the mind.
I think first of all, you have to know though that some people. Okay, most of the time people wait to be inspired or to be motivated, but the truth is, when you start doing something, that's when the motivation comes. So you decide on something you want to do. Say walking. Don't expect to feel like walking every day. It's just not going to happen. The most important thing about the process is consistency. Doing it even though you don't feel like doing it. And that's when, as you're doing it, the motivation increases.
It's crazy,
right?
Even
I mean, we normally think
it.
it's the other way around. Oh, first you're going to be inspired. Yeah. Maybe momentarily you watch something and you will be inspired, and then it'll get you started. But you can't expect that to keep carrying on. You have to every day do something to get up and do it, and then it will come.
I find that visualization is really helpful for everything in life, but especially when you're like sitting on your sofa and this is such a big note to self. You know, you're like, I need to throw myself into the future, even the very near future, 5 minutes. Once you get up from the couch and everything, you will start moving, you will feel so much better. Put your shoes on, or do this. Or sometimes, to be fair, I am tired, I don't want to go to training, I'm nearly falling asleep on my sofa, and I have to tell myself, Safiya, once you're up and once you've got your training suit on, you will really feel so much better. And once
can I remind you of something?
Yeah.
It's already your identity, though, right? Say you've been doing it for years, and you've already done these things, so you have these pictures in your mind. But for people who don't have that, what do? So one thing I found that encouraged me is always when you see online, like you're gonna spend time online or you're gonna read books, find people who are doing it what you want to do. Find that and follow them, see what they're doing, their mindset. It helps you to see that, and somebody maybe your age, like I follow like this older woman online. She's 70 something, and she used to be out of fitness. She was a bit overweight, and her daughter, who is doing weights and stuff, came to her and said basically, Mom, you need to do something right now, like about your fitness levels, because otherwise you're going to end up immobile, and you could do something about it. I mean, it's not in the exact those words, but she got her to start. Okay, her mom now 70 plus, she has her own app. She's like 70 plus. She started just a few years ago. She was never into fitness. So it's not a question of, she always had fitness and then she started. No, she was never into fitness. Right? She was overweight and she got started. And so find people who are like just a bit better than you at something, like somebody you can relate to, somebody, or you feel like, oh wow, if they can do it, I can do it. Like just to make you feel like, hey, why can't I do that? You can do that. Don't find people that you think you can never come, be like 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds. Find people, if you're in that age group, 17, fine. But if you're like for example, in your 40s, in your 30s, you have kids and you have all these things happening and you think, oh, I could never do that, or your background is not encouraging. Like, I know in my family, they didn't even want me to go back to university. Oh, you have children, you can't do that. No, who's gonna take care of your kids? So it's like if I'm saying, you know, oh, she's Muslim, she wears a hijab, her community telling her no, that's not really good to do, right? You have to find people that inspire you, that just a bit like, oh wow, they can do that, I can do that too, for anything, for learning how to drive, for going places, doing things. Just think, if you want to do something, find somebody who's doing it, and then after you do it, you can become an inspiration too.
Yeah, I totally relate to that on so many levels. Those listeners who listened to our very first show where we introduced ourselves might remember that I was explaining that I started Taekwondo only when I was 40. And why? Because obviously I fell in love with it, but I had in my head that I was too old, it was too late. And then I saw some older women who were doing it.
There you go.
They were black belts, and they told me, no, I didn't start as a young child. I started when my children started, when I was 35, 37, whatever it was.
So they were ahead of you and they inspired you.
They showed me, hold on a minute, if they can do it, I can do it.
Exactly.
And one of them, to be honest, I mean, she was like a tap dancer, everything, her knees are wrecked, there's so many things she can't do anymore because of different reasons. So she was not like she was really someone I could look like, yeah, even when you have limitations, you can still do something. So don't think you have any obstacle, whatever it is. And this is why now, you know, I don't do like the usual, the women are like, oh, don't say my age. And I'm like, no, I am proudly telling you, mashallah, alhamdulillah, Rabbana Kareem, I managed to reach this age of 51 and a half, 52 in July, where I am now, you know, where I'm at. I'm teaching Pilates.
And your age is what will inspire somebody else.
Exactly. This is why I tell my age.
To do it, because if you don't tell your age, they're just gonna think, oh.
So yesterday, my ladies' class in Sale, I pushed them a little bit, and we said, okay, little surprise, let's go into a plank, full plank. And we're like, oh, huffing and puffing and everything. And I said, look, you know, don't you think I was like you a few years ago? I was. I could not do a plank for 10 seconds, you know, and I would fall on the floor and it's so hard and my back would be hurting because I was so weak. But why can I do it now so easily for 1 minute, 2 minutes, maybe?
It's consistency.
Because exactly.
But you wanted to do it. You pushed through the doubts you had.
Yeah.
And you were consistent and you did it. So.
Yeah, and this is what I would always try and recommend. Like, some people are amazing at motivating themselves on their own and doing things on their own. These are rare people, but they do exist. So let's not, forget about them. Mashallah, well done. If you can do that by yourself, it's great. But most people generally benefit from joining a class. So you could just join like one class
a lot
a
of
week.
People do. Even I've been told by a friend of mine, even just to do fasting, it would benefit them if they had a group of other people fasting instead of just by themselves.
Yeah, absolutely, because you motivate each other. Like Angela earlier saying, she's made a commitment to go on her exercise bike and do a little bit of a hit and start gradually. But she's going to do that this week, 2-3 times a week probably.
Well, I'm going to leave 3 days, like you were saying, in between.
Yeah.
And see how that works for me.
So now she's made a public commitment, and she knows that I will be checking on her. This is kind of the way you can motivate yourself. You tell someone, please check on me, motivate me, ask me how I'm doing, make sure I do it when I should, because life gets in the way. And also kind of we get excited about something and then, no, actually I'm not going to bother.
But it seems doable. It seems doable, this hit.
Yeah.
Doing it for like...
Doable is the word.
Yeah. A few minutes. It's part of the SMART goals anyways, isn't it?
Yeah.
So to me, it's doable.
Yeah.
I do have the bike, so I don't have to go buy a new bike.
Yeah.
I have the bike. And I've improved my fitness level this past couple of months with walking it almost every day, not every day, because I've had issues with my feet, but then I just keep doing. So I think I'll be able to do it. It sounds really doable, and that's what you need to keep doing. But don't give up. Don't give up. I think one of the things that I'm thinking, Safiya, to bring every week is maybe every week see if we can inspire our viewers with other people who have done something amazing in our community to inspire people. We can talk about nutrition, we can talk about exercise and fitness, but also we should I think we should bring in stories of people who have done something amazing.
I think that's a great
even if we
idea.
find it online, anything in our community to inspire others. That it's the mindset, and the more unbelievable the story, the better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's so essential when you when you can look at someone and say, oh, yeah, they if they've done it, I can do it. It's so powerful. And this is my tip, really, is to try and see if there is someone around you. I mean, it could be me, it could be looking at what I'm doing, could be looking what Angela's doing, but also you probably have someone around you. You can look at, oh yeah, I remember that sister, actually, when I think about it, she's about my age and she does that, maybe I could do too, you know. And also, if you can and if you want, try and find a class that you can join, because going out, having an appointment, if you don't turn up, you miss it. That's it. You know, it's gone. You have no other opportunity to do it. It forces you to do it at the time when you're like a little bit down, a little bit tired, a little bit busy. And then the fact that you have to go and then you leave feeling refreshed, uplifted, a better mood, next time you'll be able to fall back onto that experience. When you feel again tired, busy or whatever, it's like, yeah, I remember last time I was feeling like this, but actually when I came out, I felt so much better. Yeah, let's not miss it. And it'll be that much easier then to go over those little bit of obstacles that you might have in the way to stop you. So yeah, it really is fairly simple, to be honest, when you think about it, isn't it?
I love motivating myself. I love finding stories of people who have achieved something despite their obstacles. I just, it's a hobby of mine. I love it, and I would love to be able to share it with everyone. Some people, they have the mindset though that that's life how it is. They can't do anything about it. We can't help people who think like that, but there's other ones who would like things to change, and inshallah we're gonna be able to help with that.
Heritage Radio.
So this is the end of the show, sadly.
It's been great today. We've really we had the surprise guests.
Yes. That was such a nice thing, and especially like, she could have been doing any sport, but it was Taekwondo. Wow, subhanallah, look at this, mashallah.
I think you'll be tight friends soon.
Allah sends you people in your way. It's just unbelievable. Alhamdulillah, it was lovely talking to you again, Angela. I hope you enjoyed today.
I loved it.
And remember, any of our advice, it's, you know, you have to go and speak to your healthcare professional if you're not sure if you start a new exercise, if you have any medical issue or physical issue, just double check that it's okay for you to do it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.